Le gouvernement de la transition a le regret d'informer l'opinion que, dans la nuit du 31 mars au 1er avril 2025, un drone des forces armées et de sécurité de la République du Mali.
The Confederation in September 2023 of the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, was a development regarded, when it was regarded at all, largely with a weary sigh of resignation. The AES gathered beneath its banner the West African nations of Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, three landlocked neighbours who also have in common that they are former French colonies who share resentments of the former overlord, some fair enough, some less so, and are ruled by military regimes following recent coups d'etat. Mali's in 2021, Burkina Faso's in 2022, Niger's in 2023. The AES is now united by something else, a feud with Algeria. All three countries have recalled their ambassadors to Algiers a week or so after Algeria shot down a Malian drone. The craft was a Turkish-made Bayraktar Akinci. It is unclear as of this recording by what means Algeria destroyed it. There are inevitably conflicting assertions as regards the circumstances. Algeria claims the drone was armed and 2 kilometers inside Algerian airspace. Mali says it was doing routine surveillance over Mali and that the wreckage was found nearly 10 kilometers from the border with Algeria. Whichever is correct, the reaction of the three AES countries is very much the reaction of people who have decided to make a thing of it. A Bayraktar Akinci is not nothing. They have a ticket price in the low 7 figures. But among the burdens that drones do not carry is any great inherent diplomatic baggage. If someone shoots down a crude fighter aircraft, that is a significant drama. Even one of Mali's fleet of antique Soviet-built MiG-21s or more recent cast-off Russian L-39Cs would be expensive to replace, and dead or captive pilots are a massive headache for both involved countries. The loss of a drone is something pretty easily written off as a cost of doing business, or if whoever shot it down is feeling at all apologetic, by writing a check. If all concerned are quick and discreet, nobody need ever know. But if the AES wanted a reaction from Algeria, they have it. Algeria has recalled its ambassadors from Bamako and Niamey, postponed the appointment of a new one to Ouagadougou, and declared its airspace closed to Malian aircraft. Algeria's foreign ministry has further harumphed.
The junta of putschists ruling in Mali is vainly attempting to make our country a scapegoat for the setbacks and woes of which the Malian people are paying the heaviest price.
So there. But the question which arises is, why has the AES decided to make a thing of it? Because, by way of making it a further thing, Mali also closed its airspace to Algerian aircraft. The Bamako-Algiers route was never one of the world's busiest or most glamorous, but still. The Algerian Foreign Ministry's grumpy spokesperson might not be entirely wrong. Mali's junta would hardly be the first government of a poor and unhappy nation to blame its difficulties on a hostile neighbour, and the AES has also suggested that the downing of the drone is evidence of Algeria's support for Tuareg rebel groups and or various Islamist guerrillas at large in the north of Mali and Niger. That might be a reach, but Mali has been waging a campaign against such militias, and it is far from impossible that this is what the drone was actually doing. Mali's fears of these organisations are not, well, not entirely, paranoia or deflection. It is only a little over a decade since an unruly alliance of similar insurrectionists, many with supply lines reaching into Algeria, overran a goodly chunk of Mali, imposed a noteworthily boneheaded and brutal Taliban-style prohibition of pretty much everything, and briefly seemed poised to march on Bamako. One reason for Algeria's present miffedness may be a perception of ingratitude. Algeria was once a mediator between Mali's beleaguered elected governments and the Tuareg. But the AES may have other reasons for taking this stand. Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso all used to be members of a larger regional bloc, the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS. They formed the AES after being suspended by ECOWAS following their respective coups. ECOWAS is theoretically an organization of democracies. There was, at one point in 2023, even some hot talk of ECOWAS sampling up to restore by force Niger's elected president Mohamed Bazoum. This came to nothing, and President Bazoum remains under house arrest. There is also the fact that while nobody likes a military junta, except, as the very existence of the AES demonstrates, other military juntas and possibly Russia, which has been friendly with the AES countries, nobody much likes Algeria at the moment either. The AES may sense diplomatic vulnerability. Algeria has squabbles ongoing across other borders as well, with Morocco to the west over Algeria's support for the Frente Polisario, the indefatigable liberation movement active in Western Sahara, and with Libya to the east, where Algeria is suspicious of eastern Libya's de facto leader, Field Marshal Khalifa Haftar, also effectively a military dictator. And Algeria's own recent democratic backsliding has frightened off Europe. It is only this week that France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot announced that relations between France and Algeria were back to normal, or as close to normal as they ever get, after months of sullen bickering. This line might have been drawn in order to emphasize that the AES is serious, both willing and able to act collectively to defend the interests of an individual member. It is a pretty cost-free stand to take. Everybody gets their name in the papers, and the option is there of quietly agreeing to let the matter drop a few weeks down the track. It is only a drone, after all. For Monocle Radio, I'm Andrew Mueller.